don't know why I let you talk me into these things.
Will you relax?
Oh, will you look at the time?
I'm telling you, there's nothing to worry about.
You know, the last time you said that, we walked into a booby trap in Vietnam.
So I made a little mistake. You're the lawyer. Sue me.
Got the money?
Well, no. At such short notice, I was unable to raise $300,000.
Oh, man, straight for the booby traps again.
No, but I did get these. Now, they've been in my family for a number of years. They're worth at least $300,000.
What if the kidnapper won't settle for diamonds?
Oh, but he's already agreed. And I told him that because of my recent heart attack, that you'd be acting as my intermediary. Of course, I didn't tell him that you were a private detective.
Hello?
Take it easy, Mr. Christie. Your wife is going to be all right.
I hope so. I don't know what I would do if anything ever happened to Andrea.
Right, bye. It looks like he's gonna dance us around for a little while.
Where?
Another phone booth, 3rd and Temple. Al, I'm heading down 3rd now. Temple coming up in about a half a block.
Mr. Street, do you think it's a good idea for him to follow the kidnappers?
Suppose he decides not to keep up his end of the bargain. We're not dealing with a Boy Scout, Mr. Christie.
There's the phone booth. It's empty.
Now relax. Stan knows what he's doing.
Damn. I can't find a parking space. Thanks, they're already dirty. How about $1 to keep an eye on the hubcaps?
How about your wallet to keep from getting stuck?
Oh, no. I think he's being mugged.
Come on, the wallet.
Did it ever occur to you guys that I might be an undercover cop? You turkeys are under arrest.
How about the watch? Come on, give me the watch. Hey, what about the briefcase?
There's nothing in there but some sales reports and a tuna fish sandwich.
Yeah, well, Bo, why don't you take that, too? Let's get out of here.
You all right?
Yeah, but they got the diamonds.
Oh, no.
Well, what are you going to tell him?
I don't know.
Lots of luck. Mr. Christie? Your heart, you feel all right?
What are we going to do?
I don't know, but Stan will think of something. I remember once we were in Vietnam, you know, we were pinned down by enemy fire, and Stan came up with a brainstorm that would have made General Patton proud. Well, did he buy it?
It took a little work, but he's gonna give us another 24 hours.
All right, hey, General Patton, Mr. Christie.
Only he upped the ante to 500,000.
500? Where does he expect me to get it?
Well, why don't you sell some stock or take a real estate loan?
Stock? Real estate?
You did tell us you were wealthy.
I lied.
He lied.
But what about those diamonds?
I stole them from the jewelry store I manage.
Oh, well, I'll see you around, Mr. Christie. No, on second thought, you are going to need a lawyer, so why don't you give me a call?
Can't walk out now.
You're absolutely right, sir. I'm driving.
Mr. Street, you could be disbarred for receiving stolen goods.
Receiving, sir? I didn't know those diamonds were stolen, Mr. Christie.
It's my word against yours.
He's got a point, Al.
How did I get myself into this?
Now, we seldom get a call for diamonds of this size or cut. As soon as I opened the drawer, I realized what had happened.
One of the first things we'll need, Mr. Milan, is a list of everyone who had access to the vault.
Well, my secretary has all that information.
I'll get on it. And I'd like to talk to your manager.
Well, Mr. Christie's still out to lunch. He called to say he'd be delayed.
Mr. Milan, I understand you wanted to see me.
You're the security guard?
Yes, sir, Dave Harmon.
Have you noticed anything unusual going on? Anyone acting suspiciously?
No, but I don't come back here much. I spend most of my time up front watching the customers.
There's Mr. Christie now. If you need me, Mr. Jones, I'll be in my office calling my partners.
Thank you. Mr. Christie?
Yes.
My name is Barnaby Jones. I was hired by California Meridian Insurance.
Oh, yes, they told me out front what happened. I just can't believe it.
When's the last time you saw the diamonds?
Oh, it's been at least 2 weeks.
Do you know if anyone else has been in that particular drawer in the last, since then?
No, I don't. Why?
Well, it begins to look like an inside job.
Oh, I hope you're wrong.
I'll get it. Very pretty lady.
My wife.
Thank you very much, Mr. Christie.
Barnaby, there's the names and addresses of all the employees.
What's this?
Well, that's a log that the secretary made for them of the phone calls I made for the past 2 weeks.
Good thinking, Jedediah. What's this number with the circle around it?
Oh, that's the secretary's.
Good thinking, Jedediah.
Okay, if you haven't seen 300,000 in diamonds floating around, has anybody tried to fence a $50 watch?
Find out anything?
Yeah. I should have my head examined. Stan, what am I doing? Involved with diamonds and kidnappers and fences?
Trying to help pay the rent on this office.
Well, you have any lead on the muggers?
They weren't local,
Oh, good. Now we know where they're not from.
but I think one was a musician.
How do you figure that?
I saw him blowing on a mouthpiece. A news vendor saw it, too.
I say we should check out jazz clubs. You know, he probably plays in one of them.
That's exactly why I came back here to get you. Lead the way.
I've never been in a jazz club in my life.
You've never been in a jazz club in your life? You? But I thought...
I was studying all the time.
Where's the phone book?
Anybody home?
Business is booming. Get a retainer. Can I help you?
Mr. Donaldson?
Yes. I am Stanley Donaldson.
My name is Barnaby Jones.
The private detective?
Yes. My associate, Jedediah Jones.
What can I do for you?
Are you handling a case for Warren Christie?
This is my attorney, Al Street. Now, who is this Warren Christie?
Well, he's the guy who called you 5 times in the past 2 days.
Oh, that Warren Christie. Right. He is a client. Why?
Are you aware, Mr. Donaldson, that there are $300,000 worth of diamonds missing from a store of which Mr. Christie is the manager?
No kidding.
You mean with all this close contact, you didn't discuss this?
Well, I really shouldn't betray a client's confidence, but since you are also a private eye, I guess it couldn't hurt.
Might even help.
Mr. Christie is having marital problems.
He's having marital problems.
Yes, and he thinks his wife is straying from the nest.
So he hired you to birdwatch.
Right. And that's all there is to it.
Well, Jedediah, looks like that's one more suspect we can scratch off the list. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Very interesting arrangement you have here. You two partners?
No. We share the office in order to save rent.
We're friends, and sometimes we work together.
But we're definitely not partners.
Any trouble?
Didn't even work up a sweat.
Good. What's up?
What are you two guys trying to pull?
Pull? What are you talking about?
There's one missing.
Hey! Wait a minute. It must have fallen out, okay?
That's better.
Where's our money?
There's 1,000 apiece. Now you two get lost. You understand? It worked.
I'm so glad it's over. Now we can go away.
No. Not yet.
You said as soon as we got the diamonds.
Honey, just another day. 24 hours for $500,000 more.
But my husband's not well. He has a bad heart.
Nothing's gonna happen to him. Look, all he has to do is reach in and grab another handful. It's that simple. Then we're on our way. No looking back. Just one more day.
Barnaby, you didn't believe Donaldson's story about Christie either, did you?
No, I may be wrong, Jedediah, but to me, he seemed a little too cooperative to be convincing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it doesn't seem to be anybody home. Hi. Excuse me, but you wouldn't know where the Christies are, would you?
I think Warren works late tonight.
What about Mrs. Christie?
Andrea, a funny thing, I haven't seen her for about 3 days. Maybe she's on a trip.
Why do you say that?
Well, because we park right next to each other, and I haven't seen her car. You're kind of handy to have around.
Let's go. Mr. Jones, what are you doing here?
We came over to ask a few more questions about the robbery.
We would have waited, but your wife isn't home.
Well, she's attending a movie.
It's funny because one of your neighbors just told us that she hasn't seen her in a couple of days and that her car's gone, too.
Well, I'm afraid she's mistaken.
Mr. Christie, we know you've been talking to a private investigator about your wife. We know you have marital problems. You want to tell us about them?
Well, very well. Yes, we've had some marital problems, but they're all straightened out now.
Well, where is she?
Well, she's visiting a cousin in Seattle.
When did she leave?
The day before yesterday, she flew up.
What's her cousin's name?
Well, now, just a minute. What has my wife's cousin got to do with your investigating a theft?
You have a point. Maybe we were a little pushy. Thank you, Mr. Christie.
Like a drink?
Yeah, I'd like one real bad, but I'd also like to see my son graduate USC this spring, so I'll pass.
Rambo, this is my friend Al Street.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, I've been black too long for that jazz. Just slip me $5, will you? That's cool.
He never figured it out anyway.
This cat you're looking for with the bandana headband. What color?
Red with a little design.
Oh, no, man, not the headband, the cat. Was he black, white, in between?
Caucasian.
White. Did he have stringy blondish hair and look like he was allergic to soap?
Smelled like it, too. And like I said before, always working with a mouthpiece.
He's bad news.
What's his name?
Woody March. Plays a pretty good horn, but plays most of his gigs in jail.
Do you know where he lives?
Not a clue. This cat's a real gypsy. Hey, you might try the Musicians Union.
Thanks, Rambo.
Anytime, baby.
Say, what's your son gonna be?
A lawyer.
Whatever happened to boxing is the way out of the ghetto.
Later.
Yeah, baby.
Well, Andrea's car isn't at the airport.
Thank you. According to reservations, she wasn't booked on any flight to Seattle.
That's very interesting.
Well, maybe she changed her mind about flying up there and drove.
Maybe. But nothing changes the fact that Christie hired a private detective after his wife left. Why, if they had already solved their marital problem?
I still don't see the connection between that and the theft.
That's what we have to find out. Let's go get it at.
Hey, you sure this is where the Musician Union said that Woody picks up his messages? Huh?
His buddy's inside. The one shooting.
Oh, God. Oh.
Come on, let's get him.
No. You get him, and I'll call an ambulance, huh?
An ambulance? For that little punk?
Stan, that little punk has 4 big other punks with him, and they look like they sleep with their motorcycles.
Okay, you come up with something better.
Can't you see we're busy here? Okay, look, he doesn't know me. Huh? You wait here, and I'll go inside and see what I can do, huh? Huh?
Good idea. I haven't had lunch yet.
Yeah? Oh.
How are you? Apple. Good. Banana.
Hey. We get 2 beers. One for my partner. Hey, Bo. Good news wants to buy you a beer.
I know you.
No. We know you.
Yeah? Well, thanks for the beer.
We also know what went down on 3rd and Temple yesterday.
What you talking about?
I'm talking about rocks, diamonds.
Sit down.
Where are you?
The organization.
What organization?
That mugging took place in our turf, which means those diamonds belong to us.
I swear I still don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so much for negotiating. Now time to enforce.
No, wait. All right, so we took this dude, but we were working for somebody, man. He's got the rocks.
Who?
He said his name was Jack. That's it. We met at the Fancy Fox.
Where can we find this Jack?
Hey, Bo! Oh, Bo.
Just don't forget. Come back.
Yeah, right. Yeah?
Do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah, wait a minute. This guy's from the organization.
He's with the dude we ripped off yesterday. I just saw them together outside.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, okay. It's just somebody about a job.
No, you were gonna tell me where we can find this Jack.
Yeah, right. Well, I never got his address, man. But I remember how to get there. Come on, my car's out back. I'll take you to him.
You know, the organization is not going to like this.
Take care of him. Bo, come on.
Gentlemen, I think maybe we could reach a compromise. My name is Alex Street. I'm an attorney at law. I have an office downtown. If you come, no!
Damn it, I'll pop the next guy who moves.
No, don't pull that gun, Stan. Don't, you'll kill another guy. Come on, man, you know if you pull that gun and start shooting up the place, the cop will be looking for us in this state, too. Don't do it. Don't do it, Stan. Why don't you carry a real gun like Sam Spade?
Who?
I mean, what if they called our bluff?
Guns kill people, Al. Banana never hurt anyone.
Why, Mr. Christie?
You don't understand.
I understand you're a thief.
No, my wife, they've kidnapped her. They're threatening to kill her. What else could I do? Well, after Mr. Donaldson convinced him that we had lost the diamonds, that we weren't trying to double-cross him, the kidnapper told us that he would give us another 24 hours. He's to call my place at 2. And that's the whole story.
Well, now I say we call in the police.
That won't get your diamonds back. And what's more important, it might cause Mrs. Christie's death.
Then what do you suggest?
I suggest that we go along with the kidnapper's new demands. Only this time, Jetta and I will see where they lead us.
Yeah, but the only thing is, we don't have any more diamonds to make the payoff.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Milland.
Now, what is it, Dave?
I just want to tell you I'll be leaving that doctor's appointment I have this afternoon.
Who's taking your place?
Ben Tyler. Oh, is there anything new on the theft?
No, I'm afraid not.
I see. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I guess it's about time we start standing by for the phone call. You ready, Mr. Christie?
You better have a good reason for being here.
You know that dude we ripped off? Him and a friend came looking for us.
What happened?
There's no problem. We took care of it. Just that we didn't figure there'd be this kind of trouble.
I didn't make any guarantees.
Yeah, well, we want some more bread. Another 1,000 each.
We had a deal.
Yeah, well, making ourselves a new deal.
Oh. Okay, Woody. Okay. But this is it.
Come on, Bo!
Dave, what happened?
Mr. Buck's trying to shake us down.
Honey, let's leave now. We've got enough.
No.
Dave, I'm scared. What if those guys come back or go to the police?
They can't. Now, come on.
I know it's difficult, Mr. Christie, but wearing the rug out isn't going to make the phone ring any sooner.
That must be Donaldson's street.
Let him in. I'll be in there.
Did he call yet?
No. What about the diamonds? We're close. But we did find out something very interesting. That mugging was not a mugging.
What do you mean?
Those muggers were hired by someone who knew I'd be carrying those diamonds. Who else knew that, Mr. Christie?
Just myself. And, of course, the kidnapper.
And the two of you.
Mr. Jones, what are you doing here?
He knows.
Everything?
Everything.
Hey, wait a minute. You don't think we ripped off those diamonds?
Maybe, maybe not. The important thing right now is what happens to Mrs. Christie. That's the reason Jedediah and I are taking over the case.
Over our dead bodies, you are.
Our dead bodies?
Mr. Donaldson, I really think it's for the best.
I agree with you, Mr. Christie. Stan, let him have the case.
Al, he thinks we took the diamonds. If anything goes wrong, our neck's in the ringer.
Since when do we have the same neck?
There's no time to argue. We'll make a deal with you. You make the drop, we'll tail the kidnappers.
I liked it better when you wanted the whole case.
Okay, Mr. Jones, you've got a deal.
Will I tell him about the diamonds?
Ask for more time.
Hello?
You have the stones.
Yes, I'm getting them. But I want to speak to my wife first. I want to hear her voice.
Okay. But make it fast.
Warren.
Andrea, are you all right?
Yeah, but I'm afraid.
Now listen. You've got until 3:30. That's it.
3:30.
Have your man waiting at the phone booth on Stone Road in Topanga. And he better have the package.
Well, at least I know she's still alive.
Hey, hold it. The tap just ran dry.
We're not thirsty. All we want is a little information.
Well, then why don't you go down to the library? It is right down the street.
They didn't have Woody March's address. The librarian said you did?
Woody March. Now, why didn't you just say so in the first place? Don't go away. Right here.
Granny! Think of me as the big bad wolf.
Yeah. Well, he's got a place. He's got a room right down the street. It's 219 South Dwyer.
Woody, it hurts, Woody. It feels like I'm all burning up inside.
Just hang in there, Bo. I'm gonna go get a doctor. Just hold on.
Okay, Woody.
I thought I grew up in the wrong neighborhood. This is his room. Maybe he's not home. Move over.
Woody, is that you? Is that you? Woody? Is that you?
What is it, Bo?
Oh. You got the doctor. Thanks. You really, pal?
Yes.
Did Betty ever finish checking them out?
Oh, yeah, she sure did. Donaldson comes from an old-line Philadelphia family, 3 generations of bankers. After Vietnam, he came out here to go to school, and then he supported himself by working in a security agency, and then opened an office of his own.
What about Street?
Well, now he made it the hard way. Pumped gas, and he washed dishes, and still graduated at the top of his class in law school. He met Donaldson in Vietnam, and they've been friends ever since.
I think I've been a little hard on him.
Barnaby is finished.
Do you read me, Mr. Jones?
Loud and clear.
Do you know the San Remo Bridge?
About a quarter-mile north of here.
I'm to throw the package over the side at the 7th arch and keep on driving.
You wait here till I call you, then take off.
Right.
There's a dirt road just before we get to the bridge. We'll get off on that.
I'll be right behind you.
Donaldson, take off. Jedediah, the road's about 100 yards ahead. You turn right, I'll turn left.
Got it, Barnaby.
I don't see anything suspicious.
I'm approaching the bridge now.
bombs away.
Got him covered, Barnaby.
It's all yours.
You see anyone else around?
Not even a squirrel.
Come on.
What took you so long?
He just showed up with the doctor.
Hey, look, what do you guys want from me, huh?
First, my watch. Now you're gonna show us where Jack lives.
You know, I'd really love to, but I don't know where he lives.
Al, he says he doesn't know where Jack lives. Do you believe him?
Look at his eyes. No, I don't believe him.
My friend doesn't believe you, and he's a lawyer. You know something? I don't believe you either, and I'm just plain mean. Let's go. Get in.
Looks like just a dry run, Barnaby.
Hold it. There's a car turning onto the riverbed.
Barnaby, that's David Harmon.
Let's go, Jedediah.
Where's the cabin?
And you just go down that wash, and it's right over there.
Remember?
Looks deserted.
You go that way.
It's only me.
You're kidding. Did you see anything?
No. Not a thing. Not a soul. Must still be out picking up the diamonds.
Yeah, come on. Her pulse is steady. Maybe she's been drugged. Start looking for the other diamonds.
What?
Mrs. Christie, don't be afraid. I'm Stan Donaldson. That's Al Street, and we're working for your husband.
Oh, thank God you're here.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just a little weak.
Maybe better try walking around a little bit.
Oh,
There you go. You okay?
man.
I found them! We're off the hook, pal.
Don't make any sudden moves. Get the diamonds, baby.
Baby? Did you hear that, Al?
Yeah, I heard. I heard.
Mrs. Christie, how could you do this to that nice little husband of yours?
Let's put him up. Come on, get him up. That's it. Nice and easy.
We don't carry guns.
Yeah, and you shouldn't either.
Wait here.
Well, what about them?
Don't worry. They won't ever be found. Let's go.
Move!
All right. Over to those trees.
You know, you got us into this, Stan. He's gonna get us out there and kill us, man. It's gonna be goodbye, sweet world.
Well, Al, what do you want me to do? He's holding the gun.
Yeah, I know it. I know it, and I ain't going. I ain't going.
Get up.
No, sir. No, sir, I'm not going.
All right. And you're gonna get it right here.
Al, he's not kidding. He's gonna kill you right here.
Yeah? Yeah, well, if he gets me over there, he's gonna kill me over there. So he might as well kill me over here. What difference does it make?
Quit wasting time. Now get him over there.
Al, I'm gonna have to drag you.
That's it, Herman. At this distance, I never miss.
Say, man, why don't you quit this and go back into the banking business with your family?
What? And give up all this?
Anyone in?
You've got a client.
Yeah. I'll be right there.
Get a retainer.
I'm going to be in court most of next week, but I'll see if I can spare some time.
Oh, hey, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Street, this is my daughter-in-law, Betty Jones, Alexander Street.
Hello.
And Stanley Donaldson.
Well, I certainly have been looking forward to meeting you two. I've heard a lot about you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Mr. Jones, JR, nice of you to drop by.
Well, actually, we came by to give you this check.
Check?
It's from California Meridian. It's your share of the reward for the recovery of the diamonds.
Reward?
There's just one problem. It's made out to both of you, and I told them you were not partners.
Who said we weren't partners? Stan, where did Mr. Jones get that idea?
It beats me. Where did you get that idea, Mr. Jones?
Can't imagine. Good luck to you.
Thank you, and I hope we see each other again.
You know, Barnaby, looking at this office, I got an idea. You know, after I graduate law school, we can take your office, put up a partition like this, make 2 offices, you know, right?
Great idea, JR. I could add curtains, throw pillows.
Plants, right?
It would be like your office in here and mine out there.
Right.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Bye-bye, fellas.
Much later.
I never want to see you again.
A guy has a couple of drinks, and the only living saint in California has him down for a lush. How about a nightcap?
Nightcap? It's a lucky thing for you my parents are out of town. Otherwise, Dad'd break your neck.
Junie, you don't mean this stuff about not seeing me again.
Yes, I do now. Come on. Come on, get up.
Gotcha.
Oh,
scratched me.
it's just a little scratch.
Junie! Hey! Come on, Junie! I love you. I'll see you in the morning.
Dewey, what the devil are you doing here?
In flagrante delicto, they say in law school. Caught in the act. Didn't Walt come home with you?
Walt? Well, he just left. Are you going to tell me what you're doing here?
Well, you know, me and my practical jokes, I figured I'd slip in ahead of you and Loverboy and throw a scare into him. Figured he'd swear off the bottle for good.
Well, you sure scared me. My heart nearly stopped.
I'm sorry, hon. I figured we'd all get a good laugh out of it, but I guess I arrived too late.
Wow. Between two goofballs like you and Walt, a girl could end up just... Dewey. What's going on?
Wow. Look at that. We better check out the rest of the house, June. Looks like somebody's been breaking in.
Oh, Dewey. It's you, isn't it? You've stolen Dad's coins.
Hey, come on, June.
No, it's true. Look at yourself. It's that stardust you're on, that coke.
Okay, I'll put them back. How's that?
Throwing your life away like this. Stealing like a common thief.
Look, I said I'd put them back. I'll pay for the glass. Isn't that enough?
Okay, Dewey. Sure, I'll swear nothing happened.
You're gonna blow it all for me, aren't you? You're gonna get me thrown in prison.
No. No, Dewey, I won't say anything.
I'll die if they put me in jail. I'll die.
Dewey?
Hi, Dad.
I thought you'd be home studying. Don't you have that property law exam coming up Monday?
Yeah, Dad, I thought a little walk would clear the cobwebs.
Jump in. I'll drive you home.
Thanks.
I tell you the truth, Walt. I don't like getting in the middle between you and June. It's just going to make things worse.
JR, she respects you. She'll listen to you.
All right, but if I blow it, don't blame your attorney.
Just tell her that I know what kind of a dummy I've been, all right? And I promise I'll stay off the booze as long as I live.
Maybe the bell doesn't work. Why don't we...
Hey, Walt.
Oh, hi, Louise.
Why are you making all that racket? It's only 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, some people like to sleep in on Sundays.
Yeah, look, June and I are supposed to go sailing with some of the gang this morning. Could you tell her I'm waiting? And tell her that JR is with me? Huh?
JR? Yes. Sure.
No. June?
All right, Mrs. Dalton, thank you. Think of anything else, give me a call, huh? You can go ahead. Hi, Gordon. Well, I've heard of lawyers chasing ambulances, but don't you think jogging clothes are a little too much?
Well, I live just around the corner.
Huh. Who was that? June Nelson. Do you know her?
Her father's one of my best friends. What happened?
Well, the way it looks now, she surprised a burglar last night, robbing her father's gold coin collection.
Just hadn't had that fight. If I'd stayed with her.
Walt, there's nothing else you can do here. Come on, let's go.
Mr. Eldridge. Just a couple more questions before you go, if you don't mind.
I'm tired of these questions. Can't I go home?
Come on, Lieutenant, give him a break. He was in love with her.
This isn't exactly fun and games for me either, J.R. We haven't been able to find any sign of a break-in. You're sure Miss Nelson locked the door behind you after you left last night?
Yes. I tried to get back in. If I had, maybe she'd be alive right now.
Take it easy, Walt.
Just one other little thing here. Mrs. Dalton, housekeeper, says that you and Miss Nelson were having a few problems. Fights about your drinking too much. Seems she told Mrs. Dalton that she was actually afraid of how violent you get sometimes when you're drunk.
I could deck you for what you're thinking.
Does have a pretty good temper, doesn't he?
Like I said, he was in love with her, Lieutenant.
Yeah. Be with you in a minute, Gordon.
Mr. Lassiter? J.R. Jones. Dewey introduced us when you were giving your lecture on the McNaughton rule.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Excuse me. Walt, wait a minute.
Dewey, get up.
Oh, what's the panic, Dad? It's Sunday.
Dewey. June Nelson's dead.
June's dead? What are you talking about?
She was murdered by a burglar who broke into the house last night and stole Ben Nelson's gold coin collection.
Oh, no. It's awful.
Police say it happened about 1 o'clock this morning. Just about the time I picked you up outside the Nelson house.
Yeah, you'd have thought that when I was passing by the place, I would have noticed something.
No. You weren't just passing the house. You were just leaving it.
Leaving it? What do you mean, leaving it?
Where is it?
Where are you hiding it? Hiding what?
Speedballs, gold dust, coke, whatever the hell you call that poison that's turned you into someone I don't even know anymore.
I told you I wasn't snorting coke anymore. Didn't I swear to you I would never use that junk again, didn't I?
Yeah, just like you swore you'd stop stealing to pay for the rotten stuff.
Swore you'd stopped breaking into houses. Swore. On the memory of your mother.
You think that I killed June?
Oh, please, Dewey, no more lies.
Dad, June and I grew up together. How could you think that about me? Gotta believe me, Dad. Please?
Okay, son. I'm sorry. I had to put it to you. I had to find out.
Okay.
Well, you better get dressed. Ben and Ellen Nelson coming back from New York this afternoon.
What is that? Oh, my God.
No, wait a minute, Dad. It's not what you think it is.
These are Ben Nelson.
No, those coins are mine. I got them from a guy last night.
Liar.
I didn't mean to kill her. I was only trying to stop her from calling the police. That's all. I panicked. Look, I swear, Dad, I didn't mean to hurt her.
Oh, Dewey. What am I going to do?
Help me, please, help me.
I don't know how.
You'll think of a way, Dad. You always do.
Barnaby, do you think that the insurance company is going to want you to stay down in San Diego longer than 2 days on that warehouse fire?
Not unless I find some evidence of arson. Well, Jedediah, you look like a fella who didn't do too well in his property law examination.
Oh, I did okay, I guess.
Doesn't look as though you've had much sleep. Cramming for the exam?
No, I was up half the night with Walt. June's death really put him away.
Well, listen, why don't you go on home, sack out. I can hold down the fort here. Barnaby Jones Investigations.
It's a good idea. I think I will.
Just a second, please, Gia. It's Walt Eldridge. He's down at police headquarters.
Walt, what's up? Okay, sure. I'll be right over. Goodbye. They just picked up Walt for questioning. He wants me to be there.
No offense, Jedediah, but don't you think he'd be better off with a full-fledged lawyer?
Come on, Barnaby. Walt's a long way from needing a lawyer. Besides, half a lawyer's better than none.
We haven't had time for comparison tests yet, but Mr. Eldridge himself admits that the skin and blood particles found under Miss Nelson's nails probably belong to him.
So June scratched me, so what?
Lieutenant, it's already been established that Walt and June argued a bit. But they were just lovers' quarrels, you know.
J.R., you're in here on a pass because you're his friend. Just as soon hear it from him.
When I left June, she was alive. That's all I know.
Whatever happened to the burglary theory?
Well, it's possible, you know. Just possible those gold coins were stolen to make it look like a burglary.
That's a lie.
Take it easy, Walt.
That temper of yours is not helping you any. You know that?
Sorry, I just don't have.
What's going on out there?
Take your time, gentlemen.
What is your interest in this case, Mr. Lassiter?
Have you been retained by the Eldridge boy?
Come on, Gordon, give us a
So,
break.
gentlemen, just give me a few minutes and I'd be glad to answer all the questions you want to throw at me.
What are you doing here, Gordon?
Well, my son Dewey tells me one of his classmates might need some legal advice. Finding him in your clutches, John, apparently he does.
You mean you're here to represent Walt?
If that's all right with you, son.
Even if I needed a lawyer, Mr. Lassiter, I couldn't afford you.
Justice is served, Walt, not bought.
It's a little like killing a fly with a sledgehammer, isn't it, Gordon? I haven't even charged Walt with anything yet.
It's that yet we have to eliminate from your thinking, John. Mind if I have a private chat with my client?
I'm not holding him. He's free to leave.
I'd like JR to be in on this, okay?
Absolutely. 2 lawyers are better than 1.
Lieutenant, I think you better start looking for that burglar again. We've got the best defense attorney in the country on our side now. Mr. Lassiter, hello. I hope you don't mind us dropping by this late.
Not at all. Come on in.
Hello, Mr. Lassiter. I'm Nancy Bracken. I met you at Dewey's New Year's Eve party.
Right, yeah. Well, Dewey's in the study.
Hi, Dewey.
Nancy?
Isn't it just awful about June?
Actually, Mr. Lassiter, we're here to see you. It'll only take a minute, but it's pretty important.
All right. Should we step in there?
Sure, thank you.
Well, JR, what's this all about?
It's about Walt's temper.
Yes. I've already cautioned Walt the police think he might have killed June in a drunken fit of anger.
Well, sir, I think we can take the heat off Walt by completely disproving that theory.
Oh? How?
With Nancy's help. She can tell the police that June was always threatening to leave Walt, and each time they just get back together again.
Except the last time. It can be effectively argued.
Not if we can establish a long-standing pattern of behavior. Nancy?
It's true, Mr. Lassiter. Oh, June would tell Walt she'd never see him again, things like that. And they'd split up for a few days. Then one of them would pick up the phone, and they were right back together again.
You see? I mean, why would the threat of a split turn Walt into a killer when each time things would turn out okay?
The point's well taken. Nancy. I gather you knew June well.
We were best friends.
Well, did she tell you that she and Walt fought? Not just verbally. I mean physically.
You mean like a punch-out?
Yes, I'm thinking of a recent incident Walt told me about. Just a few weeks ago, June got jealous of a girl Walt was flirting with. Did she tell you she threw a beer glass at him?
Yeah, sure. But throwing isn't like hitting.
But the threat of violence is the herald of violence to come. Wouldn't you say?
I don't know what you mean.
Didn't June say she got so angry at Walt that night, she asked another boy to drive her home?
Yes?
Now, hold on, Mr. Lassiter. Nancy's on our side.
Well, we'll see about that. Now, Nancy, in your own words, tell us what happened next.
Walt got mad, too. And he told her to get out of the car.
And she said no, that they were through. Now, what did June tell you Walt said to that?
That he'd break her neck if she ever left. But he didn't mean it. He was always...
That's enough.
Now, wait a minute. You can't dismiss a good character witness like that. Let her testify to Walt's attitude at the time and his tone of voice.
He said he would break her neck. Now, that's all the police or a jury, if it should ever come to trial, would have to hear. His attitude, his tone of voice. Irrelevant.
All right, okay. I'll try and dig something else up.
Oh, don't misunderstand me, Jay. All right? I'm used to working with my own investigators. Professionals who don't waste time developing leads that go nowhere. So, I'll try to dig up something else for you to do.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Lassiter. Do we? We'll find our way out.
I'll be in touch, J.R. Sure, he's just not answering his phone. I mean, you see his car around anywhere.
No, I think he's probably over at JR's.
Whistle if you hear anyone coming. Did she get a look at you?
I don't think so.
Let's get out of here.
Holy cow, what happened?
I don't know, Mr. Smithers. I put my money in, I turn it on, and boom, I get April showers.
What's this?
Hey, those look like gold.
8 $20 double eagles.
Who could they belong to?
This guy I read about in the papers, he had 8 of these. Operator, get me the police.
Well, Barnaby, I hate to drag you all the way up here from San Diego, but I don't quite know how to handle a living legend like Gordon Lassiter.
Sure it's not a case of you being ticked off at Lassiter for pushing you aside?
Well, I hope it is just my ego, if only for Walt's sake.
That's all there is to it. After I left June that night, I came straight home sacked out.
What about 2 Wednesdays ago? The night of the 17th between 7 and 9. Remember what you were doing then?
Wednesday. I have a night class in logic on Wednesdays, 7:30 to 10.
Yeah, I take the morning class. What about Monday the 2nd, about 10:30 in the morning?
Like today, I guess. I was either cleaning the pool or taking out the garbage. What do those times have to do with anything?
According to the insurance reports, there were some other burglaries in June's neighborhood on those days.
The idea is to pinpoint whether or not it was the same burglar. And if it is, you are home free, my friend.
Excuse me.
Mr. Eldridge, placing you under arrest for suspicion of murder in the death of June Nelson.
John, you sound as sure of yourself as a man who's read tomorrow's newspaper.
Maybe. These were found hidden downstairs in the laundry room. Oh, that's crazy. Mr. Eldridge, you have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney and to have an attorney present during questioning.
Walt, how'd it go?
Not bad if you're into saving the taxpayers the cost of a trial.
You mean he wanted you to plead guilty?
You've got to be kidding.
I told him no way. I gotta go for broke.
All right, Eldridge. Let's go.
Oh, what's the story, Barnaby? Lassiter certainly didn't build up a reputation by giving up without a fight.
Maybe working for nothing has lost its charm.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to throw in the towel. So why don't we go over to Walt's apartment building and check that manager's story?
You go ahead. I'm going to see if my friends in robbery have anything on those burglaries in the Nelson neighborhood.
Okay, see you later. Beautiful. B-U-T-ful.
Me or the dive?
Well, Cindy, diving is not one field in which I'm an expert.
Uh-huh, you already know my name. That makes you an expert in picking up girls then, huh? Tell the fellas, you can't win them all.
Wait a minute. I'm not trying to pick you up, honest.
Adding insult to injury, huh? Bet you make a lot of friends that way.
Look, my name is J.R. Jones. Your manager pointed you out to me, and I just want to ask you a couple of questions about the guys you saw in the garage last night.
Why, you a cop?
No, I'm not a cop. I'm a friend of Walt Eldridge.
Oh. Walt's arrest have anything to do with this?
It might. Do you remember what the guys looked like?
Well, there were 2 of them. I didn't see much of the one who hid in the laundry room. And the other, I just got a quick flash of him ducking behind a car.
Tall, short, fair, dark what?
Kind of medium height, nice build, fair-haired. Could have been 22, 26.
Do you think you could identify him if you saw him again?
It's pretty dark. I don't know. Maybe.
Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. I know Walt does, too.
Hey, Don't go away thinking you have to lose them all either.
Never entered my mind. How you do? Where's your old man? I want to talk to him.
My old man?
What's so funny?
My old man.
What are you laughing about?
Don't you know Gordon Lassiter's a god? You don't refer to God as your old man. You don't just talk to him. You kneel there at his shrine and worship him.
Dewey, what are you on?
I guess I must have sopped up a little too much beer at lunch. Dad'll be home in a little while. What's it about?
Did he tell you that Walt's been busted?
Yeah, those coins. Dumb, wasn't he, leaving evidence like that around his own apartment house?
I see. You two already have him tried and convicted, huh?
Hey, now, wait a minute. Walt's my friend, too. But, those were the coins from the Nelson house. There's no doubt about that, is there?
Which means that whoever killed June probably knew Walt, too, and knew that he'd make a terrific patsy.
Frame? Why? If it's just some burglar, why would he go to all the trouble of hanging it on Walt?
Well, I don't think we're dealing with an ordinary burglar here. I think this is the same guy who's been ripping off this neighborhood for the past couple of months. Somebody who knows his victims personally. Now, I figure that June must have come in on him, recognized him, so he killed her. And then to take the heat off of himself, he framed Walt.
Wow. If you could only prove that.
Well, there was a girl in the garage last night who says she saw somebody in the laundry. My hunch, it was the guy who planted the coins.
Are you saying she actually saw him do it?
No, but she said there was another guy with him. And there's a chance she can recognize him. And if he turns out to be our neighborhood burglar, you know the rest.
But, so dark in that garage, especially near the elevator. How could she have gotten such a good look at him?
Well, she says she saw enough to know that he was mid-20s, medium height, fair. How did you know it was dark by the elevator?
Well, I drove over to see Walt a couple of nights ago and parked there. Maybe one of the lights was out.
I gotta go. See you later.
JR. Well, you should have told me you were coming by. What's up?
Well, I think Dewey will fill you in, Mr. Lassiter.
Why was JR here?
I think he knows.
Knows what?
That I had something to do with it.
You're flying again. How can you know anything when you're like this?
Famous Lassiter intuition, that's how. That girl in the garage last night, she pointed him straight at me, and now he's gonna keep digging until he has it all.
First June, then Walt, now young Jones. Once it starts, there's no end to it, is there?
JR?
He's left us no alternative, has he?
Barnaby, all of the victims of the burglaries in June's neighborhood were friends of the Lassiters. Now, I'm telling you, Dewey is our man. He's got to know the layout of all of those homes.
Oh, boy. Before you go galloping off on that horse, let's see that you got a saddle under you.
All right. Exhibit A. Dewey telling me that he had too much beer is baloney, because I checked with a guy at school, and he backs me up that he's been snorting coke, and a lot of it.
Now wait. Lassiter is a rich man. You're going to find it hard to convince people that Dewey's going around committing all these robberies to get money.
Yeah, but Betty, you are talking about money. I am talking about money. Like maybe $1,000 a week cocaine habit. Now hear me out, just hear me out. Exhibit B. Lassiter telling Walt to cop a plea for what?
The coins were found in Walt's building.
Circumstantial, Betty. Any good lawyer could neutralize evidence like that in a minute, and Lassiter is the best.
Speculation. Now, most people are not going to accept the notion that Lassiter's doing it to protect Dewey.
Why not? What better way to save his son than to pin it on Walt?
Very interesting theory, but there's nothing in it we can show the police.
All right. That's where that old solid gold watch of yours comes in, Barnaby.
Are you speaking about my grandfather's gold watch?
Look, I figured that Dewey had to have a fence for all the stuff that he's been ripping off from those houses. And I've been asking around. I've got this line on a guy who deals exclusively in the unique kind of collector's items that were stolen.
Are you suggesting that we use my grandfather's watch for bait?
JR, it's an heirloom.
All right. It was just an idea. You know, I figured that the only way we could force Dewey's hand and get the evidence was to connect him to the burglaries through his fence. I hardly think that this sundial of mine here would impress anybody.
Jedediah, I'm willing to make many sacrifices in the interests of justice, but losing this watch is not one of them.
Barnaby, I promise you that I will take care of this. And if I don't, you can count on one thing. I'll kill myself. Thank you.
That's a beauty. Yeah, chariot of the gods. Yes, sir. 32,000 bucks, and you know what? They throw in a set of tools.
That's what they tell me. Easy Eddie is the classiest guy in town. Only deals in top quality merchandise.
That's what they tell who?
J.R. Jones. You know, I can see they're right. You're a man of taste and discernment.
Yeah, my papa always told me, watch your pocket, boy, the minute they start saying nice things about you. Who is this day that's spouting off with all those honeyed words?
Guy I know at school. What do you think?
Handsome timepiece indeed.
Uh-huh. They tell me it's worth over $3,000. And this is just a small example of the kind of items I can supply.
Who sent you, my man?
I can't really say, I promised.
Well, then I would say you're involved in highly illegal activities of which I want no part. Beat it.
All right, okay. Dewey Lassiter. He told me that you deal merchandise with coke.
Dewey Lassiter. No, I'm afraid he's not an acquaintance of mine.
Look, I don't need anything right now, but I'm telling you, in a couple of days, I'm going to really be hurting bad.
Well, just in case I run into someone who might be interested, where can I reach you?
555-9134. You can call me anytime. If you got a pen, I'll write it down for you.
Won't be necessary. Got it. Have a nice day.
You too.
I'll get it. Hello?
Hey, Turkey, you know why they call me Easy Eddie? 'Cause I ain't.
What do you want?
Man, what the hell are you doing spreading my name around?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, some dude dropped by looking the deal. Says you gave him the word.
Who was it?
I don't know. He knows you from school. J.R. Jones, he said.
No, it's a setup. Stay away from him. What's the matter? Hold on. It's the fence I've been dealing with. It says JR's been to see him, wants to do business with him. I told you he was on to me. Dad, what are we gonna do?
All right, just calm down. Tell this fence he's got to do something for you.
I can't.
Do it. Tell him he'll take a fall, and hard, unless he does exactly what I say.
Hello, Eddie. Listen, we'll take care of it. But there's something you've got to do. JR's not stupid. He knows Eddie will check him out with me, and the minute Eddie calls him back, he'll know he's being set up.
I've already anticipated that.
But the police, they'll be waiting.
I don't think he'll want to scare you off till he's sure you've taken the bait. I figure there'll be just enough time to do what has to be done.
Well, you have to do it without me. I'm not going.
I anticipated that, too. All right. I'll handle it myself. Just like I always have.
Yeah, you take care of it for me. After all, I'm only a mere human being. I'm not perfect like you.
I never asked you to be.
Sure you did. You wanted me to act like you. You wanted me to dress like you. You wanted me to be as smart as you. I couldn't even decide what I wanted to be. I had to be a lawyer, just like you. I never wanted to be a lawyer.
Look, after this is over, we'll talk.
Yeah, sure, we'll talk.
Well, there's the boys' camp, Barnaby. Must be where Eddie set up the meet. What do you think it's going to be, Barnaby? Dewey, his father, both of them, or is Eddie going to check me out again?
Well, that's the thing about clever people. When they're desperate, you never know what to expect. Here, your tape recorder's loaded. All you have to do is turn it on, see?
Yeah, okay.
Now, give me a half a minute, and then go on around.
Eddie?
Nobody around here. Looks like we're going to have to do some heavy leaning on your friend Easy Eddie. Let's go.
Yeah, well, it was a long shot anyway. Wait a minute. That front seat was not forward when I left the car.
Looks like you may have a chance to get something on your tape recorder after all. I'll cover you from the other side of the car.
All right, get in, JR. You gonna take us for a little drive?
I'm disappointed, Mr. Lassiter. I thought it would be Dewey.
It should have been. Unfortunately, he can't handle his own mistakes.
Which was killing June. And yours is trying to cover up for him.
He's my son. I'm doing what I have to. Get in.
Dewey! Lassiter, get out and stop him. I don't want to have to shoot your son.
Think I can't do it, huh? Well, I'll show you. I'll do it, Dad. You'll see. I'll make you proud of me.
Stop it right now.
Dewey! No! Don't shoot! Get out of the way, Dad!
No, no. Dewey. No. Just give me the gun. It's all over, Dewey.
It is? It's great. Came through for you, huh, Dad? Made you proud of me, huh? Isn't that what you wanted, Dad? To be proud of me?
You know, checking out of jail. The thing that still got me shaken up is seeing the great Gordon Lassiter being booked and fingerprinted along with Dewey.
Well, if you think that's something, wait till you see the great Gordon Lassiter in court trying to defend himself along with Dewey.
That may be Mr. Lassiter's ultimate mistake.
How's that?
Well, if it's true that a man treating himself as a fool for a doctor, same thing might be true of lawyers.
Well, thanks again, JR. Mr. Jones?
Walt, we'll see you in class.
Oh, Jedediah, how about some dinner? On me.
Barnaby, I'll tell you the truth, I just this minute made other plans for dinner. So if you'd like to join us, Cindy and I will be having pizza.
No, you go ahead, Jedediah. I don't want to steal your girl.
Thanks, boss.
A Quid Martin production starring Buddy Ebsen, also starring Lee Merriweather and Mark Shera, with guest stars Bernard Barrow, Andrew Parks, and John Gett. The Scapegoat. Junie stood near the doorway, her expression caught somewhere between affection and frustration. I never want to see you again. Walt looked at her as though the words had landed harder than he expected. A guy has a couple of drinks and suddenly the only living saint in California has him down for a lush. How about a nightcap? Nightcap? It is lucky for you my parents are out of town. Otherwise, Dad would break your neck. Junie, you do not mean this stuff about not seeing me again. Yes, I do. She turned away. Come on. He hesitated, then followed. The argument had begun over something small, as so many arguments between people who cared deeply about each other often did. A careless comment, a little too much frustration, a promise that things would be different, a promise that had been made before. Then came a moment of silence. Walt looked at Junie. I love you. He left. For a few seconds, the house became completely quiet. Then Dewey appeared. Dewey. Hey, come on. What are you doing here? In flagrante delicto, they say in law school. Caught in the act. Did Walt not come home with you? Walt? He just left. Are you going to tell me what you are doing here? You know me and my practical jokes. I figured I would slip in ahead of you and Loverboy and give him a scare. I thought he would swear off the bottle for good. Well, you certainly scared me. My heart nearly stopped. I am sorry. Honorable. I figured we would all get a good laugh out of it. I guess I arrived too late. Junie looked at him. Between two goofballs like you and Walt, a girl could end up doing something foolish herself. Then she noticed something. Dewey, what is going on? He followed her gaze. The room looked different. A drawer had been disturbed. Something had been moved. The atmosphere of the house had suddenly changed. We better check out the rest of the house, Junie. It looks like somebody has been breaking in. Junie stared at Dewey. Oh, Dewey. It is you, is it not? You stole Dad's coins. Come on, June. No, it is true. Look at yourself. It is that stuff you have been taking. That cocaine. Dewey lowered his eyes. Okay. I will put them back. How is that? You are throwing your life away like this, stealing like a common thief. I said I would put them back. I will pay for the glass. Is that not enough? Okay, Dewey. Sure. I will swear nothing happened. You are going to blow it all for me, are you not? You are going to get me thrown in prison. No. No, Dewey. I will not say anything. Dewey, please. I swear. The night seemed to grow colder around them. Dewey looked frightened. If they put me in jail, I will die. Dewey. The moment passed. But neither of them knew that it would become the last ordinary moment they would ever share. The following morning, the house was quiet. Walt had barely slept. He had spent much of the night thinking about Junie, their argument, and the things he wished he had said differently. His father found him outside. Hi, Dad. I thought you would be home studying. Do you not have that property law examination coming up, honey? Yeah, Dad. I thought a little walk would clear the cobwebs. Jump in. I will drive you home. Thanks. Walt climbed into the car. For a moment, neither man spoke. Then Walt finally broke the silence. I will tell you the truth, Walt. I do not like getting in the middle between you and June. It is only going to make things worse. She respects you. She will listen to you. All right? But if I make things worse, do not blame your attorney. Just tell her that I know what kind of a dummy I have been. And I promise I will stay off the booze as long as I lie. The two men drove through the quiet morning. Neither knew what was waiting for them. At the Nelson house, the bell apparently was not working. A knock followed. Then another. What? Hey, Walt. Hi, Louise. Why are you making all that racket? It is only 8 o'clock in the morning. Some people like to sleep in on Sundays. Look, June and I are supposed to go sailing with some of the gang this morning. Could you tell her I am waiting? And tell her that JR is with me. JR? Yes. Sure. All right. Then came the terrible discovery. The house was no longer simply a place where friends had argued, laughed, and made plans. Something had happened to June. The police arrived. Questions followed. The first theory was that a burglar had entered the house. June had apparently encountered the intruder. The family's gold coin collection was missing. But something about the scene did not fit neatly into that explanation. Mr. Dalton? A few more questions before you go, if you do not mind. I am tired of these questions. Can I go home? Come on, Lieutenant. Give him a break. He was in love with her. This is not exactly fun and games for me either, JR. We have not been able to find any sign of a break-in. The question changed everything. The door. The entrance. The possibility that whoever had entered the house had not needed to force their way inside. You are sure Miss Nelson locked the door behind you after you left last night? Yes. I tried to get back in. If I had, maybe she would still be alive. Take it easy, Walt. Just one other little thing. Mrs. Dalton says you and Miss Nelson were having a few problems. Fights about your drinking too much. It seems she told Mrs. Dalton that she was actually afraid of how you sometimes behaved when you were drunk. WLTS, face tightened. The accusation was obvious. And he hated it. His temper was already under pressure. Like I said, he was in love with her, Lieutenant. The investigation continued. J.R. Jones had known Walt for some time. He had also met Gordon Lassiter, one of the most respected attorneys in the area. J.R. approached him. Mr. Lassiter? J.R. Jones. Dewey introduced us when you were giving your lecture on the McNaughton Rule. Oh, yes. I remember. Excuse me. Walt, wait a minute. Dewey, get up. What is the panic, Dad? It is Sunday. Dewey, June Nelson is dead. Dewey stopped smiling. June is dead? What are you talking about? She was murdered. A burglar broke into the house last night and stole Ben Nelson's gold coin collection. Dewey stared at his father. That is awful. The police say it happened about 1 o'clock this morning. Just about the time I picked you up outside the Nelson house. Dewey tried to answer. You would have thought that when I was passing by the place, I would have noticed something. No. You were not just passing the house. You were leaving it. Leaving it? What do you mean? Where is it? Where are you hiding it? Hiding what? speedballs, the gold dust, the coke, whatever you call it. Those coins have turned you into someone I do not even know anymore. I told you I was not using cocaine anymore. Did I not swear to you that I would never use that junk again? Yes. Just like you swore you would stop stealing to pay for it. You swore you would stop breaking into houses. You swore. Dewey looked at his father. Then he spoke quietly. In the memory of your mother. You think I killed June? Please, Dewey. No more lies. Dad, June and I grew up together. How could you think that about me? You have to believe me. Please. Gordon looked at his son. Okay, son. I am sorry. I had to put it to you. I had to find out. Dewey seemed relieved. But the relief did not last. You better get dressed. Ben and Alvin Nelson are coming back from New York this afternoon. Then Gordon saw something. What is that? Dewey reacted immediately. Oh my God. Now wait a minute, Dad. It is not what you think it is. These are Ben Nelson's. No. Those coins are mine. I got them from a guy last night. Liar. Dewey's face changed. I did not mean to kill her. I was only trying to stop her from calling the police. That is all. I panicked. I swear, Dad. I did not mean to hurt her. Oh, Dewey. What am I going to do? Can you help me, please? Help me. I do not know. I do not know how. You will think of a way, Dad. You always do. Across town, Barnaby Jones was discussing another investigation. Barnaby, do you think the insurance company is going to want you to stay down in San Diego longer than 2 days on that warehouse plant? Not unless I find some evidence of arson. Jedediah Lassiter looked tired. Well, Jedediah, you look like a fellow who did not do too well in his property law examination. I did okay, I guess. It does not look as though you have had much sleep. Cramming for the examination? No. I was up half the night with Walt. June's death really put him away. Why do you not go home? Get some sleep. I can hold down the fort here. Barnaby Jones' investigation. It is a good idea. I think I will. Then the telephone rang. It was Walt. He was at police headquarters. He wanted JR there. They had picked him up for questioning. Jedediah knew what that meant. No offense, Jedediah, but do you not think he would be better off with a full-fledged Come on, Barnaby. Walt is a long way from needing a lawyer. Besides, half a lawyer is better than none. At headquarters, the questions continued. The investigators had found evidence that could connect Walt to the scene. The question was whether that evidence told the whole story. We have not had time for a comparison test yet, but Mr. Eldridge himself admits that the skin and blood particles found under Miss Nelson's nails probably belonged to him. So June scratched me. So what? Lieutenant, I do not even establish that Walt and June argued a bit. They were lovers' quarrels. When I left June, she was alive. That is all I know. Whatever happened to the burglary theory? It is possible. Just possible that those gold coins were stolen to make it look like a burglar. That is a lie. Wult's temper was getting him nowhere. The room became tense. Then Gordon Lassiter arrived. What is your interest in this case, Mr. Lassiter? You have been retained by the Eldridge boy. Come on, Gordon. Give us a break. Gentlemen, just give me a few minutes and I would be glad to answer all the questions you want to throw at me. What are you doing here, Gordon? My son Dewey tells me one of his classmates might need some legal advice. Finding him in your clutches, John. Apparently he does. You mean you are here to represent Walt? If that is all right with you, sir. Even if I needed a lawyer, Mr. Lassiter, I could not afford you. Justice is served, Walt. It is not fought. It is a little like killing a fly with a sledgehammer, is it not, Gordon? I have not even charged Walt with anything yet. It is that yet we have to eliminate from your thinking, John. Mind if I have a private chat with my client? I am not holding him. He is free to leave. I would like JR to be in on this. Absolutely. 2 lawyers are better than 1. Lieutenant, I think you better start looking for that burglar again. We have the best defense attorney in the country on our side now. But Gordon Lassiter knew that reputation alone would not solve the case. The evidence had to be understood. Every detail had to fit. And if it did not fit, someone had to find out why. Later, Gordon received another visitor, Nancy Bracken. She had met him at Dewey's New Year's Eve party. Hello, Mr. Lassiter. I am Nancy Bracken. I met you at Dewey's New Year's Eve party. Right. Dewey is in the study. Hi, Dewey. Nancy. Is it not just awful about June? Actually, Mr. Lassiter, we are here to see you. It will only take a minute, but it is pretty important. All right. Should we step in there? Sure. Thank you. J.R. explained. It was about Walt's temper. I have already cautioned Walt to consider the possibility that he might have been responsible for June's death during a drunken fit of anger. I think we can take the heat off Walt by completely disproving that theory. How? With Nancy's help. She can tell the police that June was always threatening to leave Walt. And every time, they would get back together again. Except the last time. It can be effectively argued. Not if we can establish a long-standing pattern of behavior. Nancy? It is true, Mr. Lassiter. June would tell Walt she would never see him again. Things like that. They would split up for a few days. Then one of them would pick up the telephone. And they were right back together again. Why would the threat of a split turn Walt into someone capable of doing something terrible when every previous argument had eventually ended with them together again? The point is well taken. Nancy, I gather you knew June well. We were best friends. Did she tell you that she and Walt fought? Not just verbally. I mean physically. You mean like a punch-out? Yes. I am thinking of a recent incident Walt told me about. Just a few weeks ago, June got jealous of a girl Walt was flirting with. Did she tell you she threw a beer glass at him? Yes. But throwing is not the same as hitting. But the threat of violence can be a warning sign. Would you not say so? I do not know what you mean. Did June say she became so angry with Walt that she asked another boy to drive her home? Yes. Nancy is on our side. We will see about that. Now, Nancy, in your own words, tell us what happened next. Walt became angry too. He told her to get out of the car. She said no. She said they were through. And what did June tell you Walt said to that? That he would break her neck if she ever left. That he did not mean it. He was always. That is enough. You cannot dismiss a character witness like that. Let her testify to Walt's attitude at the time and his tone of voice. He said he would break her neck. That is all a police officer or a jury, if this ever goes to trial, would have to hear. His attitude. His tone of voice. Irrelevant. All right. I will try to dig something else up. Do not misunderstand me, Nancy. I am used to working with my own investigators. Professionals who do not waste time developing leads that go nowhere. So I will try to find something else for you to do. Thank you for your help, Mr. Lassiter. The investigation moved forward. But while the adults were studying the evidence, someone else was watching. Someone who knew far more than he was admitting. The burglaries in June's neighborhood became increasingly important. The police had been looking at several incidents. There were similarities. There were familiar names. And there was one fact that stood out. Many of the victims were connected to the Lassiter family. Barnaby Jones began asking questions. J.R. continued his own investigation. At one point, he and Barnaby discussed what they knew. We will find a way out. I will be in touch, J.R. Are you sure he is just not answering his telephone? You see his car around anyway. No. I think he is probably over at J.R. Elsewhere, a suspicious exchange was taking place. A man entered a building and moved cautiously through the area. Someone else was nearby. Whistle if you hear anyone coming. Did she get a look at you? I do not think so. Let us get out of here. Then something unexpected happened. A machine suddenly produced an unusual result. Holy cow! What happened? I do not know, Mr. Smithers. I put my money in, I turn it on, and suddenly, I get April shower. What is this? Those look like gold. 8 $20 double eagles. Who could they belong to? This guy I read about in the paper. He had 8 of these. The discovery was reported. The investigation had taken another turn. Barnaby was called. He returned from San Diego. I hate to drag you all the way up here from San Diego, Barnaby, but I do not quite know how to handle a living legend like Gordon Lassiter. Sure, it is not a case of you being kicked off at Lassiter for pushing your side. I hope it is just my ego, if only for Walt's sake. Meanwhile, Walt's story was being examined from another direction. That is all there is to it. After I left June that night, I came straight home and went to sleep. What about 2 Wednesdays ago? The night of the 17th between 7 and 9. Do you remember what you were doing? Wednesday? I have a night class in logic on Wednesday. 7:32. I take the morning class. What about Monday the 2nd? Around 10:30 in the morning. Like today, I guess. I was either cleaning the pool or taking out the garbage. What do those times have to do with anything? According to the insurance reports, there were other burglaries in June's neighborhood on those days. The idea is to pinpoint whether or not it was the same burglary. And if it is, you are home free, my friend. Then the investigators made their decision. Mr. Eldridge, we are placing you under arrest for suspicion of murder in the death of June Nelson. John, you sound as sure of yourself as a man who has read tomorrow's newspaper. Maybe. The evidence appeared to be mounting. Coins had been found hidden downstairs in the laundry room, but Gordon Lassiter was not prepared to surrender. The police read Walt his rights. Walt listened. Gordon remained calm. The case now depended on whether the apparent evidence against Walt could withstand careful examination. Later, J.R. and Barnaby discussed what had happened. How did it go? Not bad. Not bad if you end up saving the taxpayers the cost of the trial. You mean he wanted you to plead guilty? You have got to be kidding. I told him no way. I have to go for broke. All right, Eldridge. Let us go. The pressure was increasing. But Barnaby Jones had not abandoned the possibility that someone had deliberately created a false trail. Lassiter certainly did not build up a reputation by giving up without a fight. Maybe working for nothing has lost its charm. I am not going to throw in the towel. Listen. Why do we not go over to WALT's apartment building and check that manager's store? You go ahead. I am going to see whether my friends in robbery have anything on those burglaries in the Nelson neighborhood. Okay. See you later. J.R. continued questioning witnesses. At the apartment building, he met Cindy. Beautiful. BUTF. Me or the dive? Well, Cindy, diving is not one field in which I am an expert. Oh, hi. You already know my name. That makes you an expert in picking up girls then, does it? Tell the fellows you cannot win them all. Wait a minute. I am not trying to pick you up. Honest. Adding insult to injury, huh? Bet you make a lot of friends that way? Look, my name is J.R. Jones. Your manager pointed you out to me. I just want to ask you a couple of questions about the men you saw in the garage last night. Why? Are you a cop? No, I am not a cop. I am a friend of Walt Eldridge. WALT's arrest has anything to do with this? It might. Do you remember what the men looked like? There were two of them. I did not see much of the one who hid in the laundry room. The other one? I just got a quick look at him ducking behind a car. Tall? Short? Fair? Dark? What? Medium height. Nice build. Fair hair. Could have been 22 or 26. Do you think you could identify him if you saw him again? It was pretty dark. I do not know. Maybe. Thank you, Cindy. I appreciate it. And I know Walt does too. Hey, do not go away thinking you have to lose them all either. Never entered my mind. Later, J.R. encountered Dewey. Kia, dude, where is your old man? I want to talk to him. My old man? What is so funny? My old man? Do you not know Gordon Lassiter is a god? You do not refer to God as your old man. You do not just talk to him. You kneel at his shrine and worship him. Dewey, what are you on? I guess I must have soaked up a little too much beer at lunch. Dad will be home in a little while. What is it about? Did he tell you that Walt has been arrested? Yeah, those coins. Dumb, was he not? Leaving evidence like that around his own apartment house. I see. You two already have him tried and convicted, huh? Wait a minute. Walt is my friend, too. But those were the coins from the Nelson house. There is no doubt about that, is there? Which means whoever killed June probably knew Walt, too, and knew he would make a terrific scapegoat. A frame? Why? If it is just some burglar, why would he go to all the trouble of setting Walt up? I do not think we are dealing with an ordinary burglar here. I think this is the same person who has been stealing from this neighborhood for the past couple of months. Somebody who knows his victims personally. I figure June must have come in on him. She recognized him. And he made sure she could not tell anyone. Then he framed Walt. Wow. If you could only prove that. There was a girl in the garage last night who says she saw somebody in the laundry. My hunch is that it was the person who planted the coins. Are you saying she actually saw him do it? No. But she said there was another man with him. There is a chance she can recognize him. If he turns out to be our neighborhood burglar, you know the rest. But it was so dark in that garage, especially near the elevator. How could she have gotten such a good look at him? She says she saw enough to know he was in his mid-20s, medium height. Fair. How did you know it was dark by the elevator? Well, I drove over to see Walt a couple of nights ago. I parked there. Maybe one of the lights was out. I have to go. I will see you later. J.R. walked away. But he had heard enough. Dewey knew something. Perhaps more than something. When J.R. returned, Gordon was waiting. J.R., you should have told me you were coming by. What is up? I think Dewey will fill you in, Mr. Lassiter. Why was J.R. here? I think he knows. Knows what? That I had something to do with it. You are flying again. How can you know anything when you are like this? Famous Lassiter intuition. That is how. That girl in the garage last night. She pointed him straight at me. And now he is going to keep digging until he has it all. First June. Then Walt. Now young Jones. Once it starts, there is no end to it, is there? J.R.? He has left us no alternative, has he? Barnaby later explained what he had discovered. All of the victims of the burglaries in June's neighborhood were friends of the Lassiter. Now I am telling you. Dewey is our man. He has to know the layout of all those homes. Oh boy. Before you go galloping off on that horse, let us see that you have a saddle under you. All right. Exhibit A. Dewey telling me he had too much beer is baloney. I checked with a guy at school. He backs me up that Dewey has been using cocaine. And a lot of it. I know it. Lassiter is a rich man. You are going to find it hard to convince people that Dewey is committing all these burglaries to get money. You are talking about money. I am talking about money like maybe $1,000 a week for a cocaine habit. Now hear me out. Just hear me out. Exhibit B. Lassiter telling Walt to plead guilty. For what? The coins were found in WALT's building. Circumstantial, Barnaby. Any good lawyer could neutralize evidence like that in a minute. And Lassiter is the best. Speculation. Most people are not going to accept the notion that Lassiter is doing it to protect Dewey. Why not? What better way to save his son than to make Walt the scapegoat? It is a very interesting theory, but there is nothing in it we can show the police. That is where that old solid gold watch of yours comes in. You mean my grandfather's gold watch? I figured Dewey had to have someone who handled the things he had been taking from those houses. I have been asking around. I have a lead on a man who deals exclusively in the unique kind of collector's items that were stolen. Are you suggesting that we use my grandfather's watch as bait? J.R., it is an heirloom. All right. All right. It was just an idea. You know, I figured the only way we could force Dewey's hand and get evidence was to connect him to the burglaries through whoever was handling the stolen property. I hardly think this sundial of mine would impress anybody. You know, Diane, I am willing to make many sacrifices in the interest of justice, but losing this watch is not one of them. The investigation needed a way to connect Dewey with the stolen property. That meant finding the person who had been buying and selling unusual collector's items. They found him. Easy Eddie. The name had already been circulating among people who knew the underground market for stolen collectibles. J.R. approached him carefully. Easy Eddie was presented as a possible buyer. The plan was simple. Offer something valuable. See who became interested. Then follow the connection back. J.R. entered the meeting. The atmosphere was relaxed. Easy Eddie looked at the watch. It was a beautiful piece, worth thousands of dollars. But Eddie was cautious. Who sent you, my man? I cannot really say. I promise. Well, then, I would say you are involved in highly illegal activities of which I want no part. Beat it. J.R. changed his approach. All right. Okay. Dewey Lassiter. He told me that you deal merchandise for cocaine. Dewey Lassiter? No. I am afraid he is not an acquaintance of mine. Look, I do not need anything right now. But I am telling you, in a couple of days, I am going to be hurting badly. Well, just in case I run into someone who might be interested, where can I reach you? J.R. gave him a number. 555913. You can call me anytime. If you have a pen, I will write it down for you. It will not be necessary. Got it. Have a nice day. You too. JR left. Easy Eddie waited. Then he picked up the telephone. Hey, Turkey. You know why they call me Easy Edie? Because I am not. What do you want? What are you doing? Spreading my name around. I do not know what you are talking about. Some guy dropped by looking to deal. Says you gave him the word. Who was it? I do not know. He knows you from school. J.R. Jones, he said. No. It is a setup. Stay away from him. What is the matter? Hold on. It is the fence I have been dealing with. Says J.R. has been to see him. Wants to do business with him. I told you he was on to me. The call ended. Dewey immediately went to his father. Dad, what are we going to do? All right. Just calm down. Tell this fence he has to do something for you. I cannot. Do it. Tell him he will take a fall and take it hard unless he does exactly what I said. Dewey hesitated. Then he called Eddie. Hello, Edie. Listen. We will take care of it. But there is something you have to do. JR is not stupid. He knows Eddie will check him out with me. And the minute Edie calls him back, he will know he is being set up. I have already anticipated that. But the police will be waiting. I do not think he will want to scare you off until he is sure you have taken the bait. I figure there will be just enough time to do what has to be done. Well, you have to do it without me. I am not going. I anticipated that too. All right. I will handle it myself. Just like I always have. Yeah. You take care of it for me. After all, I am only a mere human being. I am not perfect like you. I never asked you to be. Sure you did. You wanted me to act like you. You wanted me to dress like you. You wanted me to be as smart as you. I could not even decide what I wanted to be. I had to be a lawyer just like you. I never wanted to be a lawyer. The words revealed something far deeper than the investigation. Dewey was not simply afraid of the police. He was afraid of disappointing his father. Gordon Lassiter had spent years building a reputation for intelligence, discipline, and success. Dewey had spent years trying to measure himself against that reputation. After this is over, we will talk. Yeah, sure. We will talk. The meeting was arranged. The plan was to use the meeting to establish a connection between J.R., Dewey, and the person handling the stolen property. Barnaby, there is the boys' camp. Must be where Eddie set up the meeting. What do you think it is going to be? Dewey? His father? Both of them? Or is Eddie going to check me out again? That is the thing about clever people. When they are desperate, you never know what to expect. Here. Your tape recorder is loaded. All you have to do is turn it on. JR checked the device. Yeah. Okay. Now give me half a minute. Then go on around. Edie? Nobody around here. Looks like I am going to have to do some heavy leaning on your friend E.G. Eddie. Let us go. They waited. Then they noticed something. That front seat was not forward when I left the car. Looks like you may have a chance to get something on your tape recorder after all. I will cover you from the other side of the car. All right. Get in, JR. You are going to take us for a little drive? JR looked up. He had expected Dewey. Instead, Gordon Lassiter was there. I am disappointed, Mr. Lassiter. I thought it would be Dewey. It should have been. Unfortunately, he cannot handle his own mistake, which was killing June. And yours is trying to cover up for him. He is my son. I am doing what I have to. Get in. Dewey appeared. Lassiter. Get out and stop him. I do not want to have to shoot your son. Do you think I cannot do it? Dewey reacted. Dad. No. Dewey. Stop it right now. The confrontation ended before anyone could make the situation worse. The truth had finally come to the surface. The police moved in. The evidence was no longer merely circumstantial. Dewey could no longer hide behind his father's reputation, and Gordon could no longer hide behind his son's mistakes. Dewey looked at his father. I will make you proud of me. Stop it right now, Dewey. No. Do not. Get out of the way, Dad. The moment passed. Dewey lowered his eyes. It is all over, Dewey. It is? That is great. I came through for you, huh? Made you proud of me, huh? Is that what you wanted, Dad? For me to be proud of you? Gordon looked at him. No. The story that had begun with a family argument and a stolen collection had ended with two people facing the consequences of their decisions. Walt was finally cleared of the suspicion that had followed him. June's name was no longer being used to support a false story. And Gordon Lassiter, the famous attorney who had spent his life defending other people, now had to face the uncomfortable reality that his greatest challenge had been inside his own family. The investigation had shown how easily assumptions could become accusations. A few misplaced objects, a complicated relationship, a reputation for temper, a collection of coins, a frightened young man, and a father determined to protect his son. Each detail had seemed convincing when viewed alone. Together, they created a false picture. That was the lesson Barnaby Jones understood better than anyone. Evidence mattered, but so did context. A clue could point in the right direction. It could also point toward the wrong person. And sometimes the person who looked most guilty was simply the person standing closest to the evidence. Later, J.R. admitted that seeing Gordon Lassiter being booked and fingerprinted had shaken him. The great Gordon Lassiter? The man everyone thought could solve anything, now facing the same system he had spent his career navigating. What still has me shaken up is seeing the great Gordon Lassiter being booked and fingerprinted along with Dewey. If you think that is something, wait until you see the great Gordon Lassiter in court trying to defend himself along with Dewey. That may be Mr. Lassiter's ultimate mistake. How is that? If it is true that a man treating himself is a fool for a doctor, the same thing might be true of lawyers. The investigation was over. But life continued. Walt and Jay are returned to class. The ordinary rhythm of student life slowly resumed. The case had left its mark, but it had also offered something valuable. A reminder that people are not defined by their worst day. Walt had made mistakes. Dewey had made serious choices that carried serious consequences. Gordon had made the mistake of believing that protecting someone meant protecting them from every consequence. None of those mistakes needed to become the entire story of their lives. There was still room for accountability. There was still room for learning. There was still room for forgiveness. And there was still room for people to make better choices. As the day drew to a close, Jedediah approached Barnaby. Jedediah, how about some dinner? On me. Barnaby smiled. I will tell you the truth. I just this minute made other plans for dinner. If you would like to join us, Cindy and I will be having pizza. No. You go ahead, Jedediah. I do not want to steal your girl. Thanks, boss. The case had begun with confusion. It ended with clarity. And perhaps that was the most important thing of all. Sometimes justice does not arrive with a dramatic speed. Sometimes it arrives quietly. A witness remembers one detail. An investigator asks one more question. Someone notices that a story does not quite make sense. A friend refuses to give up. A father finally understands that love cannot mean shielding someone forever. And a young person discovers that mistakes do not have to determine the rest of a life. The truth may take time. It may require patience. It may require people to admit that they were wrong. But when the pieces finally come together, the truth has a way of making the confusion disappear. That was the lesson left behind by the case of the scapegoat. Do not judge a person from one clue. Do not confuse suspicion with certainty. Do not let fear make decisions that reason should make. And most importantly, do not mistake protecting someone from consequences for helping them become better. Because sometimes the most compassionate thing a person can do is tell the truth, even when the truth is difficult. Even when the truth changes everything. And even when the person who needs to hear it most is someone you love. The next morning arrived quietly. For the first time in several days, there was no urgent telephone call waiting for J.R. Jones. No detective stood at the door. No nervous witness was asking whether someone had been arrested. No one was rushing across town with a new piece of evidence. The world had returned to its ordinary rhythm, at least for most people. J.R. sat in the university cafeteria with a cup of coffee in front of him. He had been staring at it for several minutes without taking a sip. Cindy walked past his table. You look as though the coffee personally offended you. J.R. looked up. I am thinking. That is dangerous before breakfast. I have been told it is a good habit. By whom? My professors. They are clearly trying to ruin your life. J.R. smiled. Sit down. Cindy pulled out the chair. You know, I have been thinking too. That is even more dangerous. About the case. JR became more serious. What about it? About how quickly everyone decided they knew what happened. At first, it was Walt. Then it was the burglar. Then Dewey. Then Gordon. Everybody had a theory. And every theory seemed convincing for about 5 minutes. That is the trouble with mysteries. You can make almost anything look convincing if you arrange the facts carefully enough. Cindy looked at him. So what did you learn? That I should never become a detective. Why? I have discovered that detectives do not get enough sleep. That is your great lesson? It is the most important one. Cindy laughed. For a moment, everything felt normal. That was something JR appreciated. The investigation had reminded him how easily ordinary life could become complicated. People could become frightened. Friends could become suspicious of friends. Families could become divided. And yet, after all the confusion, the ordinary things remain. Coffee, classes, conversation, a little laughter. Sometimes those simple things were what people needed most. Across campus, Walt Eldridge was preparing for class. He had returned quietly. There were still whispers. There always were. Students had heard fragments of the story. Some knew that Walt had been suspected. Some knew that he had been questioned. Some knew almost nothing at all. Walt had considered avoiding the university for a while. Then he changed his mind. Running away would not erase what had happened. He entered the classroom. JR was already there. Walt stopped beside him. You saved me a seat? JR looked at the empty chair. I saved myself a seat. You just happened to be sitting beside it. That sounds like something a lawyer would say. You are learning. Walt sat down. Thanks. For what? Being here. JR nodded. That is what friends are for. The professor entered. Books opened. Chairs moved. The room became quiet. For the next hour, nobody mentioned June. Nobody mentioned the investigation. Nobody mentioned the coins. There was something comforting about that. Life was beginning to move forward. Outside the classroom, Gordon Lassiter was facing a very different morning. His office was quieter than usual. The familiar confidence was still there, but it had changed. For years, Gordon had believed that every problem could be solved through preparation. Study the facts. Understand the law. Anticipate the opposition. Find the weakness. Build the argument. But his own family had taught him a lesson no textbook could provide. People were not legal problems. A son was not a case. A mistake was not always something that could be argued away. And love could not be measured by how much trouble a person could prevent. Dewey was still waiting for the consequences of his choices. Gordon knew there was nothing more he could do for him except tell the truth and stand beside him while he faced those consequences. That was harder than defending him. Much harder. The telephone rang. Gordon looked at it. For a moment, he simply watched. Then he answered. Lassiter speaking. The voice on the other end belonged to an old colleague. I heard everything. Gordon closed his eyes briefly. Then you heard more than I wanted anyone to hear. How are you doing? I am learning. That sounded almost like the old Gordon Lassiter. Almost? His colleague laughed gently. That must be serious. It is. What are you going to do now? Gordon looked through the window. The city was moving as usual. Cars passed. People walked along the pavement. A delivery truck stopped outside a shop. Somewhere, a child was laughing. Life continued. I am going to do something I should have done a long time ago. What is that? Listen. There was silence. Then Gordon smiled. I have always been very good at talking. That is why people hire you. Exactly. Perhaps I should spend a little more time listening. Meanwhile, Barnaby Jones had returned to his office. The case had occupied his thoughts for days. Now he was putting the files away. Jedediah watched him. You are actually filing everything. That is what files are for. I thought investigators kept everything scattered across their desks so they could look mysterious. That is television. This is real life. You have ruined my image of the profession. Barnaby smiled. There is something else? What? I owe you dinner. You do. You remember that? I remember everything. That is what makes you dangerous. They both laughed. The tension that had surrounded them was finally fading. Barnaby picked up his coat. Pizza? Again? Why change a successful system? Jedediah considered it. All right. But this time I am choosing the restaurant. You chose last time. And? We ate pizza. Exactly. That was the plan. Their laughter continued as they left the office. The city outside was bright and busy. Nobody looking at it would have guessed how complicated the previous days had been. That was another lesson. The world rarely stops when people are struggling. Morning still arrives. Stores still open. Students still attend classes. Friends still make plans. People still fall in love. People still make mistakes. And people still get opportunities to begin again. Later that afternoon, J.R. received a letter. He opened it while walking across campus. It was from Walt. J.R., I have been thinking about everything that happened. I know I have not handled everything well. I also know I made promises before and did not always keep them. But this time, I want to do things differently. I want to finish school. I want to make things right. And I want to stop giving people reasons to worry about me. You were there when things became difficult. I will not forget that. Walt. J.R. folded the letter. He smiled. Then he heard a voice behind him. You look pleased with yourself. Cindy. He turned. I received a letter. Good news? I think so. Then why are you smiling like that? Because maybe things are finally getting better. Cindy nodded. That is worth smiling about. They continued walking. The conversation moved naturally from the case to school, from school to dinner, from dinner to a disagreement about what constituted good pizza. J.R. insisted that pineapple had no place anywhere near a pizza. Cindy disagreed. You are impossible. I am principled. You are stubborn. That too. They laughed. The case had taught them both that life could change quickly. So they decided to enjoy the quiet moments while they lasted. At the end of the day, Gordon visited Dewey. Neither spoke immediately. Dewey looked older than he had a few days earlier. Not physically. Something else had changed. Dad. Yes. I am sorry. Gordon sat beside him. I know. I wanted you to be proud of me. I was proud of you long before any of this happened. Dewey looked at him. Then why did I always feel like I had to prove myself? Gordon took a long breath. Because I did not understand what you needed. What did I need? You needed me to be your father. Not your judge. Not your teacher. Not the man you thought you had to imitate. Just your father. Dewey lowered his eyes. I do not know how to fix everything. Neither do I. That was the first completely honest answer Gordon had given him in a long time. But we can start. How? One day at a time. Dewey nodded. That sounds simple. It is not. They sat quietly. There was no dramatic speech. No perfect solution. No promise that everything would immediately become easy. There was only a father and son beginning to understand one another. Sometimes that was enough. Outside, the evening settled over the city. Lights appeared in windows. Cars moved through the streets. People hurried home. Somewhere, a restaurant was preparing dinner. Somewhere else, friends were meeting after work. And in a small apartment near the university, J.R. and Cindy were still arguing about pizza. I am telling you, pineapple belongs on pizza. You are free to believe that. Thank you. I will. I just wish you were not wrong. Cindy laughed. You know what your problem is? What? You think every argument has to have a winner? No. I think every argument has to have a conclusion. That is exactly the problem. Maybe you are right. That sentence should be recorded. Why? Because you may never say it again. They laughed. The case was over. But its lessons remained. Trust should not be given blindly. Suspicion should not become certainty. Mistakes should not become identities. And love should not become an excuse for avoiding responsibility. The people involved had each learned something different. Walt learned that honesty was more valuable than pride. J.R. learned that persistence mattered, but so did patience. Barnaby learned that even a complicated investigation could end with an ordinary dinner. Gordon learned that protecting someone did not mean hiding the truth. And Dewey learned that becoming the person someone else expected was not the same as becoming the person he wanted to be. There would be difficult days ahead. There would be conversations that nobody wanted to have. There would be consequences. There would also be chances. Chances to apologize. Chances to study. Chances to work. Chances to rebuild trust. Chances to become better. That was perhaps the most hopeful part of the entire story. A difficult chapter did not have to be the final chapter. People could learn. People could change. People could choose differently. And sometimes, after everything seemed lost in confusion, the simple act of telling the truth could open the door to a better future. The next morning, the sun rose again. JR arrived early for class. Walt was already waiting. You are early. So are you. I thought we agreed to stop doing that. Doing what? Being responsible. I never agreed to that. Walt smiled. Good. Because I think I am going to need some help. With what? Property law. JR stared at him. You realize I barely survived that examination myself. That makes me feel much better. It should not. They entered the classroom together. A few minutes later, the professor began the lecture. The room became quiet. Outside, the city continued its ordinary life. Inside, two young men opened their book. There were no detectives. No questions. No theories. Just another day. And sometimes another day is exactly what a person needs. Because every new morning offers the same quiet invitation. Begin again. Learn from yesterday. Do better today. And leave tomorrow open for something better still. The weeks that followed were quiet. Quiet did not mean that everyone had forgotten. It simply meant that people had begun to find their ordinary routines again. At the university, Walt returned to his classes with a determination that surprised even his closest friends. He arrived earlier. He stayed later. He took notes instead of trying to borrow them at the last moment. JR noticed. You are becoming responsible. Walt looked over his book. Do not say that too loudly. Why? People might expect it to continue. That would be terrible. They both laughed. The friendship between them had changed. Before the case, they had been friends because they shared classes, mutual acquaintances, and the usual interests of young men trying to make their way through school. Afterward, their friendship had become something stronger. They had seen each other frightened. They had seen each other uncertain. They had seen how quickly circumstances could turn an ordinary afternoon into something neither of them had expected. There was no need to explain that kind of friendship. It simply existed. One afternoon, Walt closed his textbook. Do you ever think about June? JR was silent for a moment. Yes. Walt looked toward the window. I keep thinking about the last time I saw her. I keep thinking about the things I should have said. You cannot change that. I know. But sometimes knowing something does not make it easy. JR nodded. That is true. Walt looked down. She deserved better than the last argument we had. Probably. You are supposed to tell me something comforting. I am trying. You are terrible at it. I know. They smiled. Then JR became serious. You cared about her. That matters. Walt nodded. I just wish caring had made me better at showing it. Maybe that is something you can learn. Walt considered the thought. Maybe. The conversation ended there. Neither man needed to say more. Across town, Barnaby Jones was examining a completely different matter. A new client had arrived with a simple problem. At least, he claimed it was simple. My wife says I lost a valuable watch. Barnaby looked at him. Did you lose it? No. Then what is the problem? She says I lost it. Barnaby leaned back. And what do you say? I say she misplaced it. Where was the watch last seen? In the house. Then perhaps your wife is right. The man looked offended. You have not even investigated? Barnaby smiled. I am beginning with the most obvious possibility. The man sighed. I suppose that is why people hire you. That is what I keep telling them. The conversation continued. It was not a major case. There was no hidden network. No elaborate conspiracy. No dramatic confrontation. Just a misplaced watch. And after everything Barnaby had recently experienced, he found something almost refreshing about it. Not every mystery needed to change someone's life. Sometimes solving a problem simply meant finding an object under a cushion. He found the watch 20 minutes later. The client stared at it. I suppose I owe you an apology. You owe your wife one. Barnaby smiled. The man nodded. I suppose I do. That evening, Barnaby told Jedediah about the case. You found it under a cushion? Yes. A very difficult investigation. I imagine. There were cushions. Several of them. I do not know how you survived. Neither do I. Jedediah laughed. The two men sat together after work. Their conversations had become easy. The recent case had changed something between them as well. They had seen how quickly professional confidence could be tested. They had also seen how important friendship could become when circumstances became uncertain. Jedediah looked at Barnaby. You know what I learned? That you should not trust a man who says a case will be easy. Why? Because it never is. Barnaby nodded. That is fair. What else? Never ignore the obvious. Good. And never skip dinner. That is the most important lesson. Exactly. They ordered food. For a while, they talked about nothing important. That was precisely what they needed. Meanwhile, Gordon Lassiter was adjusting to a new reality. His name was still respected. His legal knowledge had not disappeared. His reputation had not vanished overnight. But he had discovered that reputation could be both a gift and a burden. People expected him to know everything. They expected him to have answers. They expected him to remain calm when everyone else was uncertain. But he had learned something. Sometimes admitting that you did not know what to do was not weakness. Sometimes it was the first honest step toward finding the right answer. He began spending more time listening to young lawyers in his office. One afternoon, an associate brought him a complicated legal problem. Gordon listened. Then he asked a question. What do you think? The associate hesitated. I think we should take this approach. Why? Because it is the safest. Gordon smiled. Safest is not always best. The young lawyer looked surprised. What would you do? I would ask the client what matters most to him. Then I would build the solution around that. The associate nodded. Gordon watched him leave. For years, Gordon had thought that being a great lawyer meant having the answer before everyone else. Now he understood something different. A good lawyer knew the law. A great lawyer also understood people. And people were rarely as simple as facts written on a page. At home that evening, Gordon found an old photograph. Dewey was much younger in it. He was standing beside his father. Both were smiling. Gordon stared at the photograph for a long time. He remembered the expectations he had placed on his son, the lessons, the advice, the comparisons, the little comments that seemed harmless at the time. Be more disciplined. Work harder. Think ahead. Do not embarrass yourself. Be like your father. He suddenly understood how easily those words could become a weight. He put the photograph back. Then he sat quietly. The next day, he visited Dewey. Their conversations were still difficult, but they were becoming honest. How are you? Dewey asked. Better. You? I am trying. That is good. Dewey looked at his father. I used to think you never made mistakes. Gordon laughed softly. I have made more than my share. I never saw them. That was because I was good at hiding them. Dewey smiled. That sounds like something I learned from you. Perhaps. They sat quietly. Then Gordon said something Dewey had not expected. I am proud of you. Dewey looked up. After everything. Because of everything. You finally understand that? I am beginning to. Dewey looked away. For the first time in a long while, he seemed relieved. Not because his problems had disappeared. They had not. But because he no longer believed he had to solve everything by pretending to be someone else. That was progress. Small progress. But real progress. At the university, J.R. and Cindy continued seeing each other. Their relationship was not dramatic. That suited them. They disagreed about books. They disagreed about restaurants. They disagreed about music. They even disagreed about which side of the sidewalk people should use when walking. You are making this into a legal argument again. I am not. You are. How? You have a position. You are presenting evidence. You are waiting for a verdict. Cindy laughed. You would make an excellent lawyer. J.R. stopped walking. Please do not say that. Why? Because I have already seen what happens when people choose careers because someone else expects them to. Cindy understood immediately. Dewey. Yes. I think he wanted to be someone else. Maybe a lot of people do. J.R. looked at her. Do you know what you want? Cindy smiled. Today? Pizza. Tomorrow? We will see. That answer pleased him. There was something comforting about not having every part of life planned. Not every person needed a perfect map. Sometimes it was enough to know the direction. The summer approached. Classes became more relaxed. Students began thinking about holidays and travel. The difficult months seemed farther away. But one afternoon, Walt approached J.R. with an envelope. What is that? A letter. From whom? The university. JR raised an eyebrow. Are you in trouble? Apparently not. Walt opened the envelope. He read it. Then he smiled. What? I passed. Passed what? The examination. JR stared at him. You passed property law? I did. I cannot believe it. Neither can I. They shook hands. Then JR pulled him into a brief hug. Walt laughed. All right. Enough. People are looking. Let them. You passed. That deserves attention. The moment was small. But it mattered. Walt had spent weeks trying to recover from an experience that had made him question everything. Now he had achieved something ordinary. He had passed an examination. And somehow, ordinary felt wonderful. That evening they celebrated with dinner. Cindy joined them. Barnaby happened to arrive later. Then Jedediah. Soon the table was crowded. Someone ordered too much food. Someone else insisted they had not. You ordered 3 desserts. That is not too much. There are 5 people here. Exactly. And 3 desserts. Mathematics has never been my strongest subject. Walt laughed. At least property law is safe. Cindy looked at him. Do not become too confident. He smiled. I am learning. The conversation continued late into the evening. Nobody talked much about the investigation. That was not necessary. The past was part of them. But it no longer controlled the conversation. They could laugh. They could plan. They could argue about dessert. They could talk about ordinary things. That was how healing often happened. Not in one dramatic moment, but in hundreds of small moments when people realized they were capable of enjoying life again. Later, as everyone was leaving, Barnaby stopped JR. You did good work. JR smiled. We all did. Barnaby nodded. That is usually how it works. One person notices something. Another asks a question. Someone else checks the facts. And eventually the truth emerges. JR looked thoughtful. Do you ever get used to it? Used to what? People surprising you? No. I hope I never do. Why? Because the day you think you know everything is probably the day you stop looking carefully. JR remembered that. It stayed with him. Years later, he would still remember that sentence. The following morning was bright. The streets were busy. People moved through their routines. A newspaper landed on a doorstep. A shopkeeper opened his doors. A student hurried toward class. A mother called to her child. A taxi stopped at a corner. The world was ordinary again. And that was perhaps the most important ending the people involved could have asked for. Not a perfect ending. Not a magical ending. An ordinary one. The kind where people wake up and have another chance. Another chance to choose better. Another chance to listen. Another chance to apologize. Another chance to work. Another chance to laugh. Another chance to love. The case had shown how quickly fear could distort judgment. It had shown how easily assumptions could become accepted as facts. It had shown how reputation could influence decisions. But it had also shown the value of friendship, the importance of patience, the courage required to tell the truth, and the possibility of change. Walt would remember that. JR would remember it. Barnaby would remember it. Gordon would remember it. Even Dewey, in his own difficult way, would remember it. No one walked away exactly the same person who had entered the store. That was the strange thing about difficult experiences. They did not always make people happier. They did not always make life easy. But sometimes they made people more honest, more careful, more compassionate. And sometimes that was enough. The afternoon sun moved across the city. JR and Cindy walked together. You know what? What? I think you owe me an apology. For what? For saying pineapple does not belong on pizza. I stand by my position. Then you owe me nothing. Thank you. You are welcome. They continued walking. After a few steps, JR stopped. Wait. What? I changed my mind. About pineapple? Yes. Really? No. Cindy laughed. You are impossible. I have been told that. They continued down the street. Behind them, the city carried on. Ahead of them was everything they had not yet experienced. New classes. New jobs. New friendships. New mistakes. New opportunities. The future was not guaranteed. It never was. but it was open. And that was enough. Sometimes people spend years believing that life must be extraordinary to be meaningful, but meaning can exist in simple things. A friend who stays. A father who finally listens. A young man who decides to make better choices. A student who returns to class after a difficult experience. A woman who reminds someone not to take every argument so seriously. A meal shared at the end of a long day. A laugh that arrives when nobody expects it. These moments do not make headlines. They do not become famous stories, but they are often the moments that change people. The case had begun with misunderstanding. It had moved through suspicion. It had tested friendships. It had challenged a family. And in the end, it left behind a simple truth. People are complicated. Circumstances can be misleading. And the first explanation is not always the right one. So ask another question. Listen again. Look closer. Give people the opportunity to tell the truth. And when someone you care about makes a mistake, remember that accountability and compassion can exist together. You can tell someone they were wrong without telling them they are worthless. You can expect better without giving up on them. You can forgive without pretending that nothing happened. And you can move forward without forgetting what you learned. The people in this story were not perfect. That was precisely why the story mattered. Perfect people do not need second chances. Real people do. They need friends. They need guidance. They need patience. They need boundaries. They need honesty. And sometimes they simply need someone to sit beside them and say that tomorrow can be different. The sun began to set. The city lights came on. Barnaby closed his office for the evening. Jedediah gathered his papers. Walt finished his studying. Cindy went home. J.R. walked slowly along the sidewalk, thinking about how different life felt from only a short time before. He had learned that solving a mystery was not simply about finding an answer. It was about understanding people. And understanding people required patience. He smiled. Then his stomach growled. He stopped. Dinner. Of course. Some lessons were easier than others. He turned toward the restaurant. For once, there was no mystery. He knew exactly where he was going. And somewhere ahead, his friends were waiting. The story was moving forward. Not because everything had become perfect, but because everyone had another day. And sometimes another day is the greatest opportunity a person can receive. The end of one difficult chapter was not the end of the story. It was simply the beginning of whatever came next. The following Monday began with a small surprise. Walt arrived at the university before J.R. J.R. noticed immediately. He looked at the empty chair beside him and shook his head. This is becoming a habit. Walt appeared at the doorway. What is becoming a habit? You arriving early. I thought you would be pleased. I am. That sounds almost convincing. Walt sat down. I have decided to change a few things, such as getting to class on time, studying before the examination instead of the night before, and perhaps listening when people give me advice. J.R. looked impressed. That is a dangerous amount of personal growth for one morning. Walt laughed. I am taking it slowly. Good. You do not want to frighten everyone? The professor entered. The conversation ended. For the next hour, the two friends concentrated on their study. It was ordinary. And ordinary was exactly what Walt wanted. He had learned that when life becomes complicated, people often dream about returning to the simplest version of themselves. For Walt, that meant being a student again. Not a suspect. Not a headline. Not the young man whose relationship had become the center of an investigation. Just Walt. A student trying to pass his classes. A friend trying to be dependable. A young man trying to become wiser than he had been before. During the break, Cindy joined them. I have news. Good news? I hope so. I have decided to stop giving you both advice. J.R. looked surprised. Why? Because neither of you listens. Walt smiled. That is unfair. You listened once. When? I told you not to order 3 desserts. And you ordered them anyway. That is not evidence. It is excellent evidence. They laughed. The conversation moved naturally toward summer plans. Walt wanted to find temporary work. J.R. wanted to spend more time studying. Cindy wanted to travel. Nobody had everything figured out. Nobody pretended otherwise. Perhaps that was another lesson they had learned. A person did not need to know exactly where life was going. Sometimes it was enough to know what kind of person you wanted to become while getting there. That afternoon, Barnaby received a telephone call. The voice on the other end belonged to a former client. Barnaby listened carefully. No, do not worry. I understand. He paused. Yes, I can come by tomorrow. He hung up. Jedediah looked across the room. Another case? Not exactly. Then what? Someone needs advice. That sounds like a case. Barnaby smiled. You lawyers see everything as a case, and you investigators see everything as a clue. Perhaps that is why we get along. Perhaps. The next day, Barnaby met the client. It was an older man who owned a small bookshop. Someone had been leaving anonymous notes outside his store. What do they say? The man handed Barnaby the note. Barnaby read them. They were not threatening. They were simply strange. Questions about old books. Questions about the history of the neighborhood. Questions about the people who had once owned the buildings around the shop. Why do you think someone is interested in these things? I do not know. That is why I called you. Barnaby looked around the shop. Rows of books filled the walls. Some were new. Others were decades old. There was a smell of paper and dust. A quiet place. A place that seemed almost untouched by the modern world. Barnaby smiled. You may have a mystery. The bookseller smiled back. I was afraid you would say that. Barnaby began asking questions. Who had access to the shop? Who had asked about the neighborhood? Had anyone behaved unusually? The answers were not dramatic. But one detail stood out. A young student had been visiting regularly. He never bought anything. He simply looked through the old local history book. Barnaby asked for a description. The bookseller gave him one. The following afternoon, Barnaby found the young man sitting in a nearby park. The conversation was surprisingly simple. I am not here to cause trouble. Then why are you researching the neighborhood? My grandfather lived here. I am trying to learn about him. Barnaby sat beside him. What happened to him? Nothing terrible. He simply moved away years ago. I found an old letter. It made me curious. Barnaby smiled. Curiosity is not a crime. The young man looked relieved. I thought someone might think I was doing something wrong. You are not. Barnaby explained the situation. The notes were his. The bookseller had misunderstood them. The young man apologized. Barnaby returned to the shop. The mystery was solved. No crime. No conspiracy. Just curiosity. Jedediah laughed when he heard the story. You spent 2 days investigating someone who wanted to know about his grandfather? Yes. And what did you discover? That people are often more complicated than they first appear. That sounds familiar. Barnaby nodded. It does. Neither man mentioned the earlier case. They did not need to. They both understood the connection. A person could look suspicious without actually doing anything wrong. A person could look harmless while hiding important information. That was why patience mattered. That was why evidence mattered. And that was why assumptions were dangerous. Meanwhile, Gordon was beginning a new chapter of his own. He had returned to his office. The first few days were uncomfortable. People were polite. Some were awkward. Others avoided discussing what had happened. Gordon understood. He did not blame them. His professional life had always been built around confidence. Now he had to accept that confidence did not make someone immune to mistake. One afternoon, a young associate entered his office. Mr. Lassiter? Yes. Could I ask you something? Of course. The associate hesitated. How did you know when you were ready to become a lawyer? Gordon smiled. I did not. The young man looked surprised. I thought you always knew. No. I only became good at pretending I did. The associate laughed. That is not what they teach us. Perhaps they should. What did you do when you were uncertain? I asked questions. And if you still did not know? I asked someone else. That is it? That is usually it. The young lawyer nodded. Thank you. Gordon watched him leave. He felt strangely lighter. For the first time, he did not feel the need to appear perfect. He only needed to be useful. That was enough. Later that evening, Gordon visited Dewey. The conversation was different now. Still difficult. But more honest. How was your day? Dewey asked. Busy. Mine too. What did you do? I read. I thought. I spoke with someone who knows more about the situation than I do. Gordon smiled. That sounds productive. It was. Dewey hesitated. Dad? Yes. Do you think people can change? Gordon considered the question. Yes. Even after serious mistakes? Especially then. Why? Because mistakes show people where they need to change. Dewey looked at him. Do you think I can? I think you have already started. There was no dramatic promise. No guarantee. Only a quiet recognition that change was possible. Dewey looked down. Thank you. Gordon nodded. Then he smiled. You are welcome. The following weekend, J.R. and Cindy went for a walk. They had planned something more ambitious. A long drive. A picnic. A visit to a museum. Instead, they ended up walking around the neighborhood because neither of them had remembered to check the weather. It began to rain. Cindy looked at him. Wonderful planning. J.R. smiled. I prefer spontaneous adventure. You forgot the umbrella. That is a form of spontaneity. They ran toward a nearby cafe. By the time they reached the door, both were laughing. Inside, they found a small table. Cindy ordered coffee. J.R. ordered tea. Then he looked outside. You know what? What? I think this is better than the original plan. Why? Because we did not plan it. Cindy smiled. Maybe you are learning. I have excellent teachers. She shook her head. You really know how to talk your way out of trouble. I have had practice. The rain continued. Neither hurried to leave. Sometimes unexpected moments became the best memory. No investigation could predict them. No plan could guarantee them. They simply happened. And that was part of life. The following week, Walt received another letter. This one was from the university. He had been offered an opportunity to assist a professor during the next term. He read it twice. Then he ran to find J.R. I got something. What? Look. J.R. read the letter. Congratulations. I do not know if I can do it. You can. What if I fail? Then you learn. What if I embarrass myself? Then you survive. What if everyone realizes I do not know what I am doing? J.R. smiled. Then you will finally have something in common with everyone else. Walt laughed. You are right. Of course I am. Do not get used to saying that. They shook hands. Another small step. Another opportunity. Another reason to look forward. Life was becoming less about what had happened and more about what could happen next. The old fear had not vanished completely. It probably never would. But it no longer controlled them. That mattered. Months earlier, Walt had been afraid that one terrible misunderstanding would define him forever. Now he understood something important. A reputation could be damaged quickly. Trust took longer. But trust could be rebuilt. One honest conversation at a time. One responsible decision at a time. One ordinary day at a time. Barnaby understood that too. He had spent his career watching people make mistakes. Some admitted them. Some denied them. Some learned. Some repeated them. But the people who changed were rarely the ones who claimed they had never been wrong. They were the ones who could finally say, I was wrong. I understand why. And I will do better. That kind of honesty required courage. Perhaps more courage than any dramatic confrontation. One evening, Barnaby sat alone in his office. The city outside was quiet. He looked at the files on his desk. Then he closed them. Tomorrow could bring another mystery. Another misunderstanding. Another problem that needed patience. Tonight, however, there was nothing left to solve. He turned off the light. Across town, Gordon did the same. At the university, Walt finished his reading. J.R. closed his book. Cindy looked out her window. The city settled into the night. Different people. Different lives. Different hopes. All moving forward. Nobody knew exactly what the next day would bring. That was probably for the best. If life came with a complete script, there would be no room for surprise. No room for growth. No room for new friendships. No room for unexpected happiness. The past could teach. The future could inspire. But only the present could be lived. And so the people who had once been connected by confusion began to be connected by something better. Understanding. Forgiveness. Friendship. Responsibility. Hope. The case had ended. The consequences had remained. But so had the possibility of renewal. That possibility was larger than any single mistake. And as another morning approached, each of them had the same opportunity. To wake up. To learn. To choose. To continue. Sometimes that is all a person needs. Not a perfect life. Not an easy life. Just another chance to make the next decision a little wiser than the last. And perhaps, after everything they had experienced, that was the real beginning.